walking through the dungeon, a dim light in the cave, and all of a sudden he appears, the dungeon boss. But wait, which bosses in The Legend of Zelda are the best? Well, there have been loads of bosses throughout the games and also many different types. So I think it's time for a top 5 Zelda bosses. Number 5. A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvegia living in this mountain. That dragon was scary. He ate Gorons. Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom, destroyed it just like that. This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. I know, because my father is a descendant of the hero. Volvegia, the boss of the Fire Temple. Now this was a really good boss, and it all started with the introduction. He flies out of a lava crater, roars and breathes fire. It's such a cool intro. He appears out of nowhere, and you've heard horrible stories about him, so the build-up is great. And then the fight starts. Volvegia begins to hide in the magma pits, and it turns into one big game of whack-a-mole. Now don't get me wrong, this boss isn't hard at all, but the build-up and the story behind this enemy is so good. And then when you fight him, it's a more fast-paced and harder version of whack-a-mole, which is a lot of fun, since it gets more difficult and timing becomes more important. Number 4. A Glee Rock, with a hard rocky shell found in Mount Cronel. Hiding in lava, this beast spews fire on everything it sees. Now this boss has to be one of the best 2D bosses ever, and there are multiple reasons why. First up, it looks really cool. It's some sort of fire turtle, and the further you are in the fight, the more serious and awesome looking he gets. What did you expect from one of the best looking 2D pixel games out there? Now besides his looks, he has a really fun boss fight. He breathes fire at a constant basis. Now in the beginning it isn't much, but later on, you're in for something. He goes from shooting one fireball to doing a fire hyper beam, which covers half of the room with fire, which makes it way harder to reach his back when he's down. And also the pacing is really good in this boss fight, since the beginning is quite calm, but that changes quickly, with a number of different attacks like boulders, lava, and lots of fire. Number 3. I was trying to find out about the poison in the swamp, so I went to the Woodfall Temple above the waterfall. But the temple had become a monster's lair, and the princess was captured by the monster. Odawa, the jungle warrior. Now this is not really a hard boss, but it's a really fun one, because of the pacing. You can go at any speed you want and damage him at any moment. You don't have to hit some stupid eye or spot. Well, in the N64 version at least. The fight with the Odawa is very similar to the fight with an iron knuckle, since you can attack at any point. Now if you could just hit him constantly, then it would be boring. But this isn't the case. He jumps away from time to time, attacks from weird angles, and sends hordes of killer bugs. This creates diversity and the feeling of a sword fight, filled with different attacks that need a quick response, which gives it a natural feel, but they could have made him a little bit more difficult, since he's pretty easy. Number 2. I was once a famous sage and a renowned Minish craftsman. Vaati was only a boy when I took him on as my apprentice, but he became enchanted by the wickedness in the hearts of men. Now this is the best 2D boss fight in any Zelda game. I love this boss fight so much. The reason why this boss fight is so good is because of the multiple forms Vaati can take on, all of which look stunning. The different forms all require different tactics. For example, the use of the Minish form or the powers of the Four Sword. This is also a really long boss fight with a lot of different things to do, items to use and attacks to perform. And Vaati doesn't go down easy. The boss fight with him requires some skill, which I really like, otherwise you're done with it in no time. Especially his first form is very difficult, since he's all across the room and you need to act fast for an opportunity to attack him. It's overall a hard but really fun and diverse boss fight. Number 1. An impressive looking blade, but nothing more. Would you hear my desire? To take this foul blade and use it to blot out the light forever. Ganondorf in Twilight Princess is the best 3D Zelda boss fight ever. He has 3 different forms, all of which are fun and challenging. They use the different abilities and forms Link can take on and use. For example, the part where Ganon turns into his beast form and you must fight as Wolf Link. Or the horseback chase where you have to slash him off his horse. Now the best part of this fight is of course the fight between Link and Ganondorf. Together, sword against sword, a battle of fast reactions, different techniques, and power. This is a proper sword fight where you can decide your own pacing, and it also has a good level of difficulty. The sword skills you learned are very useful in this fight, because it makes it easier to hit him in the right spot. Now after this long sword fight, you enter the final showdown, the epic sword clash. This is just button smashing, but it's great button smashing. And then he falls on his back. This is your chance! Link jumps and stabs him right in the gut. The perfect ending for this boss fight. Oh hey there! I don't have anything left. This is the end of the video. But if you want to watch more, then click the videos on the screen right now. Some Zelda stuff, and some Mario stuff, and why not subscribe? Then you won't miss a thing.